Hello, 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 hello. Happy Saturday and happy injury-ridden Hull City take on Southampton in what can be only described as a very interesting matchup. Of course, Southampton are currently winless in 6 in the league. Picked up a win in the FA Cup last weekend, of course. And Hull City, well, they haven't played too much in the league as of recent, of course. The last weekend was FA Cup action, which we won on penalties, and then time before that was that Watford game that got postponed. So our second league game of 2026, still searching for our first goal and our first win of 2026 in the league, and it's a trip to Southampton, take on struggling Southampton side, but we do have 11 people without it for this game. 11 people on the injured list, which is quite a feat indeed. So let's start off by quickly putting the poll in the chat. Of course, this remains up until half time on who do you think will win. And of course, you can vote for a Southampton win if you want to sway that way. If I can spell Southampton. There we go. Third time's the charm. Southampton win, a draw, or if you are sane of mind, a Hull City win. And of course, that'll be up until half time, or just about a bit into half time, so you can vote on that as you please throughout this first half, making your prediction on who you think will pick up the 3 points, or if you think the points will be shared in this one. Of course, I'm going to go for a Hull City win. Still sticking with my, I say Hull City win. I'm probably going to go for a draw in this one. I said in the prediction video yesterday, a 2-2 draw is what I was predicting. It'd be good to get something out of this game. Of course, injuries ridden everywhere. Although there has been some surprise returns into this game. So first of all, start off with having a look through the Southampton starting lineup. Now they have... I'm pissed off. Man City lost 2-0. Oh dear. Yeah, I saw Man U won the Manchester derby. Well, anyway, we'll quickly run through the Southampton starting lineup whilst everyone welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday all. So they have Paredes in goal. It seems to be a back 5, back 3, however you want to say it. The centre halves are Hardwood, Bellis, Wood, and Quashie, with the wing backs being Fellows and Manning. And then in midfield, it's Downs and Janda, leaving as the sort of attacking midfielders in this situation, or maybe more wide forward men, is Finn Azaz and Cienza, with Adam Armstrong leading the line. Of course, Adam Armstrong, as we discussed in yesterday's video, 15 goal involvements in the league for Southampton so far this season. So certainly a player to watch out for. Hasn't scored since the beginning of December, so that may be another factor on why he's probably going to be due to grab one against the Tigers today. Let's go City. I'm 12 hours into a 20-hour shift today, so I need a pick-me-up. You certainly do, Mexico Rolls. Thank you for joining into the stream, and hopefully the Tigers can give you something to shout about during your 20-hour shift. That is bonkers. Absolutely baffling stuff. So hopefully the Tigers do pick you up here. And of course, we'll have a quick rack through the starting lineup for the Tigers, as they are just getting ready to come out, of course, in their black away strip, with seemingly the home shorts on the bottom half to not clash with the black shorts of Southampton, which is funny enough, a mismatch of kits. So, Hull City, of course, Ivo Panda returns back to between the sticks after Dylan Phillips took charge of that place for the FA Cup game, and of course did fantastically during that spell. It's going to be the 4-2-3-1, as we have come to know under Sergei Kievich. Akin Famuo is getting the job at left back. Charlie Hughes, John Egan in centre half. Louis Coyle returning to the right back position. And then moving forwards, it's Regan Slater and Matt Crooks in the midfield, sort of the defensive midfield. It's Regan Slater and Amir Mitrovic, presumably, in the defensive midfield, leaving Matt Crooks in that sort of cam role, Liam Miller out on the left, Kyle Joseph out on the right, and big Ollie McBurney up top. As the players are coming out, we'll just quickly rack through the bench because there are some interesting notes on the bench for the Tiger. Extremely need a win today. Hopefully that can happen, Dylan. Hopefully that can happen for the Tigers. So, of course, David Akintola is the substitute keeper. Dylan Phillips is the substitute keeper. If David Akintola was the substitute keeper, that would be a sight to be seen. Dylan Phillips is the sub keeper for the Tigers, leaving John Lundstrom to return to the bench. We wasn't going to probably see him in this game, but apparently we have. Similar with Matt Crooks. Apparently they were possibles to be available for this game, but both of them are named in the squad. Crooks starting and Lundstrom on the bench, of course. Akintola is also on the bench, as well as Matty Jacob, Joe Lindala, Casey Palmer, Hugh Parker, of course, one of the academy lads, Cathal McCarthy, another one of the academy lads that's more of a fringe first teamer now with how much he's doing in development. And then for his first stint on the senior squad for Hull City, it's James DeBayo, of course, the only January transfer for Hull City, that being James DeBayo, and he's going to be wearing the number 99 shirt, I believe, for Hull City. Or that's what I've got it down as. And so we will see if that is the case, if he does actually manage to come on to make his championship debut for Hull City. Of course, he's had a little bit of experience at this level for Leeds United in seasons prior. And of course, signed in, presumably to be in Hull City's academy, but has been named on the team today. First time in the setup for Hull City. But presumably, this is due to the mass amount of injury concerns that Hull City have got at the moment. And we talked about it during the week that there is quite a number of academy lads training with the first team ahead of this matchup here. Of course, a 3-game week for the Tigers. Southampton today, Preston on Tuesday, and then leading over to next Saturday, where we are going to be facing off against Stoke City back at the MKM Stadium. So 2 away trips in a row. Southampton then off to Preston, quite opposite ends of the country. But that's how it cracks in the Championship. I think they've just done the coin toss now, so just deciding on who has what half and who starts with the kickoff. A little pre-match meeting between both sides before we go to war. And it looks like it's going to be Southampton to kick us underway in this first half. As I just position myself a little bit better to not have me body twizzling and diving all over the place. Ready for kickoff. Kick-off? Kick-off. Off, not on, on the south coast. Just messing about with my mic. Apologies about that. Try and get it somewhat sorted. Are you sorted? Are you sorted? I don't think you are. Right. There we go. That's better. Hopefully it's all good. And Southampton are ready to kick us underway as soon as they do a false kickoff and Ollie McBurney goes charging forward. So do a few Southampton players. And on the second attempt, ref blows his whistle and kickoff is underway. They send it back towards one of their centre-halves who hoofs it long in one of these kickoff routines. A little bit of a flick and a turn around for Southampton as they now play it down this right-hand side. Going to have to cut it back. Be interesting to see how this back five lineup works and how City can combat it, as they haven't seen an awful lot of them this season. And when they have, they've set themselves up with a back five, whereas they haven't today to combat it. Or seemingly they haven't on the surface of things. Of course, very easily could switch and you could go to a back five with Miller playing the left wing back and Akinfenwa coming in as a centre half. That's one of the versatility options that really Hull City have. Of course, ooh! Akinfenwa plays a bit of a dodgy back header towards Ivor Panda. He has to go chasing towards the ball to go and pick up in the 6-yard box. Could have spelled a little bit of early unnecessary danger there for Hull City. Some other news, not fully related to this game, but Hull City news nonetheless. Semi Ajayi has just been named in the starting lineup for Nigeria in their third place playoff game against Egypt. Of course, that's the one reason why Semi Ajayi isn't available today. He's still out at AFCON despite losing in the semi-finals. Has to take place in that third place game. So Semi Ajayi will be back within this coming week. So come on, up the Tigers, up the Tigers. Hoofed forwards by Southampton's keeper. Charging through for Nazaz. Now going to try and look to play it out wide. It's going to be Miller who picks it up. Tries to send it forward towards Joseph. A little bit of header tennis and a battle back and forth. Crooks now tries to unleash Joseph going forwards. But Southampton are going to play a bit of a dodgy ball back. Scuff it and then having to play it up forwards. It's now up with Fellows, who's in a battle here with Liam Miller. This might be a battle that we see ongoing between Fellows and Liam Miller. Southampton really trying to get things going down this right flank for them. McBurney's coming in to prevent it on Harwood Bellis. So you could possibly see a bit of a battle happening in this one. Of course, Southampton, as I said, winless in 6 in the league. City really trying to once again prove the naysayers wrong, as they are injury-ridden and maybe on the face of things seeming like the least favourite side to win this one, despite being in a more advantageous place in the league compared to Southampton. But certainly going to be a battle of two teams in this one, as Hughes sends it forwards down this right flank. Noticing the centre half's Egan there, just quite far up. Whether that's going to be part of the game plan for this one to really apply that pressure. Maybe try and overwork Southampton in the midfield. As we know from our own experiences playing with the back five, the midfield can easily be something that can feel quite depleted. Coming forwards now is Southampton. It's going to be Harwood Bellis. He's still going forwards. He's managed to get into City's half before being contested. Amir comes to him, and now he has to play it back. But still, Southampton getting it going forwards. For Nazaz charging in. Feeds through Adam Armstrong, and he fluffs it. He fluffs it. Adam Armstrong, the captain for Southampton, with a nice laid-through ball from Finazaz. And he fluffs his chance to make it 1-0 in the 3rd minute here at St Mary's. He just couldn't quite get a control on the ball fed through from Finazaz. That's a definite chance that Southampton will regret wasting, as Crooks picks up the ball in midfield, lays it forwards now down this right flank. It's picked up by Amir in the midfield. Out wide now towards Coyle in the scrum hat. Into the box, looking for McBurney. Just glides over his head. It's picked up now by Amir. Into Miller. Cuts back. And that one's going to sail out for a throw-in. Nice little bit of a chance reply there from City. Using the wide men plus Crooks and Coyle to try and produce something there on a couple of attempts. All right, Carl. I'm not sure where all the are coming from, but Oh, you're trying to say come on. Come on, indeed. Up the Tigers, up the Tigers. Southampton with a throw-in over on the far-hand side, sending it down the line. Headed up by Slater to McBurney. McBurney in a bit of a battle with two Southampton men. He's going to win the throw-in for City, though, over on that far-hand touchline. Coyle with the scrum hat still on. Going to take it to Joseph. Coyle tries to play it back towards Joseph, but instead plays it into the feet of Manning, who wins City yet another throw-in. Whipping in sharply there goes Kyle Joseph off the back of the throw-in. It finds its way all the way out to Liam Miller over on this side, who has to give a bit of chase to it. He's trying to get past Fellows. He sees off that challenge, goes into more towards midfield where Finazaz is going to play off him. He now plays it off to Egan Hughes. Hughes trying to look for a 1-2 with Coyle. Coyle instead goes towards Crooks. Crooks scooping it forward for Liam Miller. Header! Oh, and that's a save and a half from the Southampton keeper. Liam Miller nearly made it 1-0 for the Tigers. It would have been a rare-headed goal for the Canadian, but chance still on here for City. Whipped in, headed away by Southampton. Slater tries to pick it up. He does so. Feeds it over towards Matt Crooks. Crooks now looking to try and maybe recompose. Instead, he's going to play it over towards Slater. Slater looking to play forward towards Crooks. Amir has Zajimetrovic out wide towards Liam Miller, the man who nearly just scored moments ago. Liam Miller out wide. Plays it back towards Amir. Out towards Akinfenwa. Fenwa, Miller towards Slater. Slater caught up in it, but manages to keep the ball. A few little tricks and bits to keep the ball in City's possession. And really nicely done here from City to keep the ball in their possession. 6 minutes in, playing with the ball in Southampton's half still. Fenwa to Miller. Miller, infield towards Matt Crooks. Crooks, Hughes, Crooks. Forwards to Coyle. Coyle hits it up towards Hughes. Back to Coyle, back to Crooks. Over the top looking for Miller. And Fellows is going to head it back towards the Southampton keeper. Now, can we take a moment to talk about that nearly chance for Liam Miller? Ball whipped into the box. It just found Miller at the back post, who put a nice header on it to go down towards pretty much the bottom right corner, as pretty much bottom right as you can get it. And Southampton's keeper full extendedly got down, saved it. The header wasn't a bad header, to be fair, as well from Miller. So all props go towards the Southampton keeper as City have another chance now. Joseph going forwards on this left side. Blaze it off towards Miller. Miller switching it into the box. Harwood-Bellis tried to kick it away. It meets Fellows. And now it's away with Finazaz. Now Southampton may be charging forwards on the counter-attack. City with still quite a few bodies back. And the ball from Finazaz may be looking for Adam Armstrong. Well, that's going to go all the way out to the other side. And Kyle will have a throw-in chance. Carl, you're good. Yeah, we're not sure on Carl at the moment. Kyle, our scrum half. Big stuff from our scrum half. Oh, you gotta love it. First it was Charlie Hughes with the headband. And now it's Louis Rugby Kyle. Scrum Kyle. Fantastic stuff. Right, ball played forwards here. Slater just dispossessed in the midfield. And so Southampton got him forwards in a really advantageous spot. Fellows out wide. Two men blocking his avenue to get one in. Whips it in, meets by the head of Hughes. And then away by Scrum Coyle, who readjusts his scrum hat. McBurney in a bit of a pouncing header to try and avoid the ball getting thrown into Southampton's possession. The ball forwards by Slater isn't good enough, and Southampton pick up the ball, sending it into the area. And Hughes does really well with the sliding block there. And manages to get a deflection, I think, off the Southampton man who was coming charging in on him. And so Hughes does well there, not only to thwart the attempt getting forwards from Southampton inside of the penalty area with a really good sliding challenge, but also wins the throw-in for the Tigers. It was Cienza there on the one-on-one with Charlie Hughes. Louis Coyle looking to send it down line. I've got scrum half stuck in my head. Oh, and it's currently with Fellows of Southampton. Just going to play it back towards Harwood-Bellis. Wood and now Quashie. Back towards their keeper goes Southampton. Just under 10 minutes into this one. Already had a few bit of action-packed moments. Both ends, to be fair. And Southampton are going to pick up what I believe is the first free kick of the game. A foul on Ryan Manning. Pretty much on the centre circle. And Southampton looking to switch it over towards Harwood-Bellis. To do so, he's in loads of space on this right-hand side for Southampton. Feeds one through to Adam Armstrong. Can he make it this time? It's Ivo Panda! Ivo Panda with a fantastic foot block there to deny Adam Armstrong on the second attempt. He had one maybe 5 minutes ago, Adam Armstrong, where he just couldn't control the ball to send it past Ivo Panda. This time he takes it first time on the ball fed through by Harwood-Bellis. And it's Ivo Panda who comes charging out and saves it really well with his back foot. And it's going to be a corner for Southampton here. 10.5 minutes in. As I said, we've had some action-packed moments already. And it doesn't look like that's going to let up after that challenge there from Adam Armstrong. Ryan Manning to take the corner here for Southampton on this near-hand side. Quite a sporadic box on both ends. Ball whipped in. It's a very deep one, heavy. It maybe got a touch off Egan Lass. It did so. And so it's going to go out for a corner on the other side. And on this side, it seems like they're sending over Cienza. Cienza, or however you say his name. As Egan just tips that one there off his head. behind for a second corner here for Southampton. Cienza to take over on the far line. Whips this one in, deep onto the goal line. Panda tries to grab it and has to punch it away. Down to the decks goes someone for City, punching the floor. And maybe the signal for the physio to come over might follow. It's Kyle Joseph who just went down. A bit of a clump. I don't think he needs the physios to come on. He's back up on his feet and running off now. Not completely sure what happened. There was a lot of bodies around there. But Panda does well to try and catch it, but more so get the ball away. Southampton with the throw-in on this near-hand side as a result of it. Miller does well to dispossess it, but sends it out for another throw-in. In a pretty much identical space for Southampton. Hello, my Hull friend. Bradford lost 2-1 to Cardiff. Oh, dear. Well, hopefully a Hull win will brighten your Saturday. But hello, my friend. How are we? Hopefully you're having a lovely Saturday despite Bradford losing 2-1 to Cardiff. Of course, Cardiff were in the Championship last season. So, not a bad one to lose. Southampton currently just playing the ball between their back lineup. Crooks tries to come through to win the ball back in possession, but accidentally snaps up downs for Southampton. As they're now just going to try and gain themselves a bit of possession. A bit of a chaotic start to this game. In a good way, I've got to say, for both sides. Both sides have had their chances. Both sides have missed their chances. That's why we remain 0-0 13 minutes in. Southampton playing a bit of risky passing in the back line. Somehow managed to get out of it and try and unleash Adam Armstrong again. But Hughes had a really good read on it. And anyway, Adam Armstrong's touch, all he could do was send it right back towards Ivo Panda with a bit of zip on it. Panda's now going to pick up the ball as Finazaz comes charging in. Plays it back down. Azaz trying to charge in, so Panda's going to go long to look for McBurney. McBurney does get a little tipple on the head. But all it's more to do so is glance it backwards to the Southampton keeper. Howard Bellis to Wood. A lot of possession currently staying with Southampton's centre-halves here. So, almost early Liam Rosinia-esque football Southampton are looking to play. With maybe a mix. I don't know. Maybe a mix of the Ruben Sayers style of attack. If you could say that we had a style of attack under Ruben Sayers. Ball whipped into the area. Headed towards Ivo Pandey. Blocks it off the line. And it's again by Southampton. Blocked. Blocked again. And that time it gets stirred into the back of the net. But the referee blows his whistle for, I believe, a foul on one of the men that were down. What a fantastic trio of blocks there from Ivo Panda. And then the flurry of City players that were on the line. The ball whipped in by Fellows. Headed right at Panda. Blocks off the line. Azaz lays it off towards someone. But I believe it may have been Azaz that was offside, as he looked a bit disappointed. It was a trio of blocks there from Ivo Panda and I think a diving Regan Slater. Before the one got turned into the back of the net that was disallowed due to a foul in the build-up. Or an offside. Or I believe actually might have been sent into the side netting. Because it was set for a goal kick there. I believe it went into the side netting. If Leeds lose, you'll feel better. Everyone feels better when Leeds lose. Forward shot. Ivo Panda saved again. Ivo Panda's a busy bunny here. Howard Bellis from a bit of range outside of the area takes a low-driven shot. And Ivo Panda gets down well and saves it. Another save for Ivo Panda in this game. We're only 15 minutes in. And now charging forwards is Fellows for Southampton. Ryan Manning trying to take one from range. It got a deflection on its way through towards the goal. And so Ivo Panda's going to pick that one up there. But Southampton are making Ivo Panda work for his wage today. They may not be getting into the most advantageous spots at some points, but they can certainly pull the trigger and maybe trying to turn their fortunes around. Southampton, one of the only sides in the league that have managed to concede the same amount of goals as City and score fewer. There's only 2 fewer, but still. It's quite a monumental task to say that they've conceded conceded the same amount as City, and they're still up there with the amount of goals scored for City. Nice feed forwards there from Hughes and Crooks, a nice partnership. Crooks just picks the ball back up and plays it over towards Egan as he was pretty much man-marked. Pardon me. Matt Crooks now coming forwards with the ball through the midfield. Looking to feed through Regan Slater, who was charging on. Couldn't quite get the ball to the 50-grand man. And so Egan, in a bit of a desperate plea, heads it out of play onto this near-hand touchline, just inside of the City half. "17 minutes in. I think we forgot to take a sip out of our Hull City mug glass earlier on. So hopefully the luck and fortune can switch and City can maybe grab 1, possibly 2 goals in this first half. If we're going off my prediction video yesterday, I did predict a Ollie McBurney brace and a 2-2 draw for this one. That very well could be on the cards. City really looking to try and respond to what has been a bit of an ongoing pressure from Southampton in the past sort of 5-8 minutes. City with a little flurry of stuff happening before that. So it feels like this is going to be one of them back and forth games. Where it's going to be come down to true end-to-end stuff as Akin Famawo just wins a goal kick for City. Going to be similar routines to how we pretty much always see it for City, where Ivo Panda's going to place it down and it's going to be either Egan or Hughes to actually take the goal kick. Egan plays it over towards Panda, and Panda takes a rolling ball forwards looking for McBurney. McBurney's glancing head on, tries to find Kyle Joseph. Instead goes out of play. So Southampton have themselves a throw in halfway into the side of their own half on that far hand touchline. In front of the Kellogg's advertising boards. Get some crunchy nut cornflakes. Of course, other Kellogg brands are available. Southampton back into what they feel they know best with Harwood, Bellis and Wood, passing it between their defensive line. This might come and bite them in the arse. It does so. Ollie McBurney picks it up. He lays it off towards Kyle Joseph. And it's Kyle Joseph with the early goal for the Tigers. Ollie McBurney pounces on the mistake by Southampton. They're passing around at the back. It's a bit too dodgy. Ollie McBurney pounces and Kyle Joseph delivers for the Tigers. 1-0, 20 minutes in, and it's an Ollie McBurney assist, and it's a Kyle Joseph goal to add to his tally that's ever growing this season. Let's go! 1-0 Hull City. Fantastic stuff. I said their passing round at the back felt a little bit too risque and a little bit too dodgy. And it has bit them in the proverbial rear end. And City will be loving that one. McBurney choosing the chance to play it back to Kyle Joseph. And he just sends a nice curling ball into the side netting and in the back of the net. And that's Kyle Joseph's tally increasing once more. From a man who signed last January, he's been at the Tigers now just shy of 12 months. Didn't grab a goal at all last campaign for the Tigers. And he's already pounced quite a number of times. Believe, if I'm not dramatically forgetting anyone, he should be City's 3rd top goal scorer. And in all fairness, might be soon closing down on Ollie McBurney's goal tally, as McBurney hasn't grabbed a goal in a few. I will just quickly have a look as Southampton are just going to take themselves a throw-in back towards their own line. Kyle Joseph's tally for this season. And that's City's first goal of 2026, I believe. Kyle Joseph, 6 goals in the Championship. But of course, that is now up to 7. And of course, with 1 assist. 7 goals. I believe McBurney's on 10 in the league. So, not too shabby indeed for a man who had a lot of scapegoating going his way earlier on in the season. Can't start a fire. You certainly can't start a fire without Kyle Joseph. Come on, City. Come on, City, indeed. Where are you watching it from? On the Tigers Plus streaming service. This is our year. This is our year. Do you mean this is our year as in the 2025-26 season? Or is 2026 the year of the Tiger? Because it could very well be both at the moment. Of course, City's still got a game in hand due to the Watford game that got postponed to early February now. I believe the first Tuesday in February that's going to be. 7:45 kickoff at the MKM Stadium for those of us who missed that announcement during the week. Of course, another announcement for a game coming up is the FA Cup game against Chelsea, which is going to take place on Friday the 13th of all days. 7:45 kickoff for that one. Good chance trying to avoid it, because not only will the stadium be probably sold out, rocking, and all the good stuff like that, but you will also be seeing it on BBC One, BBC iPlayer, TNT Sports 1, and also Discovery Plus. City with the chance going forwards there. The ball into the box was a bit half-arsed. Flew straight in towards the Southampton keeper's hands. As City trying to pick up the battle in the midfield there. Fellows as well to keep the ball in play whilst he's down on the decks for Southampton. And City, although they are sitting 1-0 ahead and not letting up on this game, which has been something that we've seen a few times for City this season, but really, really want to capitalise on taking advantage of these high-pressured situations. Give ourselves them cushions. It's always safer to win a game 2-3-0 rather than 1-0. As Southampton just had themselves a chance there. Fellows with a shot. I believe it went over. But very close to forcing Panda to make yet another save in this one. The quite high save count, I reckon, for Evo Panda in this one. Was always going to be Chelsea when Rosini went there. Is, of course. I say it's written in the stars. You can say that it's written in the books. But, yeah. Destined to be. I think everyone had a short list of teams that it's going to be. And Chelsea was on that short list for everyone. But I was watching the draw and it was just... So Hull City got drew out as the home side, obviously. I went, all right, we're at home. Oh, go on, give us like a big club. Give us a big club. Saw the ball pull out, and it was, I believe, number 8. I instantly knew that's the Chelsea ball, and I was in disbelief. I was like, out of all of the chances, everything in the world, it was destined to be. Mental stuff. But it should be a good game. 25 minutes into this one, and Southampton have themselves another corner. Out on that far hand side. Cienzia's going to take it for Southampton. And it's going to be whipped in. Punched away by Ivo Panda. Only as far as Fellows, who has to head it back as he's in chase with Amir Zajmetrovic. Looping the ball back into the action goes Southampton. McBurney headed it away. Only towards Cienza, who's out on that left-hand side. Trying to get past Louis Coyle. Scoops it in towards the area, but takes the deflection off our scrum half, Louis Coyle. And Cienza's going to have himself another chance to take a better corner kick from that far-hand touchline. I think he's just calling for one of his Southampton teammates to come a bit shorter. So might be looking to play a bit of a different corner routine. Although I think he's now going to switch his mind. Go in towards the box. It's in. It's just off the post and away. Back in by Southampton. Away by Matt Crooks. Inside the area still for Southampton. And then headed away by Regan Slater on the fired shot from Southampton. City are really pulling out all the defensive stops here. And Ollie McBurney heads that one behind for a corner kick. I think City were appealing for offside calls there. But my oh my, City are pulling out all the defensive stops in this one. Block after block after block after block off the line after post gets involved. Panda is certainly having a brilliant game. Ball whipped in. Headed back into action from Southampton. Slater gets his muscle over Adam Armstrong. Back into Adam Armstrong. Finazaz fluffs his shot. City pick up the ball now. Matt Crooks trying to unleash Liam Miller. Going backwards. But the ball is just beyond Miller. And Wood is going to send it all the way back towards the Southampton keeper. And now he's going to have his go at turning it down that left flank. Instead of going to play it back towards Quashie. Quashie in towards Downs. Coming close towards the half-hour mark in this game. City sitting 1-0 ahead. Ball over the top. Southampton inside of Hull City's area once again. Finazaz tries to laser it off. Doesn't quite work, so Nami Hazai Mitrovic and Liam Miller pick the ball back up for City as Kyle Joseph just fouled down to the floor and City picked themselves up their first free kick of the game. Howard Bellis, who seems to be pretty much everywhere for Southampton in this game. He was the one who nearly scored, but it was deflected off the post. The header from the corner that was. And I must say, as much as of a threat Finazaz would be coming into this one, he seems to be a little bit off his game today. A lot of fluffed shots, fluffed passes, easily dispossessed. Very unlike the Finazaz that we've seen in seasons prior in the Championship. But Ivo Pana takes this free kick, leeches it forwards. McBurney taken down to the deck, but the ref is going to signal for a free kick towards Southampton instead. Apparently Ivo Panda pulled his arm around someone. And the ref's getting angry at Hazai Mitrovic for holding onto the ball when Southampton kicked it away whilst the referee was still talking. A little bit of head loss there from the referee. But Southampton do eventually get us underway. Down over on that far hand side, just in front of Sergei Kirovic and his own technical area. Looking to go forwards for Adam Armstrong once again, Southampton. Instead, Egan sloops it towards Charlie Hughes. Sloop is a fun word, isn't it? Sloop. Seems to be one of Southampton's tactics. Either really aggressive manoeuvring build-up play, or if Adam Armstrong's in a bit of space, you have a high line from City. Send one over the top or on the ground, feed it through to him and let him run onto it. Which it has had some shining moments, I've got to say, in this one. Of course, the one chance for Adam Armstrong where Ivo Pana saved it with his foot comes to mind. And then the other one where Adam Armstrong couldn't quite control it and it went out for a Hull City goal kick. Southampton still in a bit of aggressive build-up play here. Kyle Joseph tries to win the ball back for City. He's taken down to the deck. No foul, says the referee. So Southampton will still have the ball in their play. Finazaz over towards Quashie. Downs now has it. Looking to go forwards. Fellows has it now over on this near hand side, I should say. Has to play it back towards Harwood Bellis. City really putting a block into them avenues for Southampton to really play into. Shades of what Hull City did away at Middlesbrough just before the new year. Where they grabbed the goal and then making a real ball ache for the opposition to get anything surmounted going. It feels a little bit like Southampton playing a bit like that Middlesbrough side that we faced off against at Teesside. Of course, today, right at the other end of the country on the south coast. But of course, Southampton foul. Referee's just calling over Louis Kyle. And he's just pushing away Ollie McBurney. Seems like the ref and Ollie McBurney are going to have a bit of an ongoing battle today. Has just a quick word with Louis Kyle. Louis Kyle says, that's alright, and walks away. I reckon we could see a yellow card onto McBurney for dissent at some point in this game. Seems to be a usual factor, but especially in this game between the battle of Ollie McBurney and the referee. All that being said, McBurney does win a free kick and the ref decides to have a word with Ollie McBurney. He's won himself the free kick. I don't see what the ref's problem is here. He's just been clotheslined by Quashie, wins the free kick, and then the ref decides to have a bit of a word with McBurney instead of Quashie. Baffling stuff, baffling stuff. City play the ball back here for Egan, over towards Ivo Panda. In that like neon green goalkeeper kit today. Of course, as I said earlier on, City should be in their full away strip. But forwards, we'll talk about that in a second. Out wide towards Liam Miller. Miller plays it back towards Regan Slater, edge of the area, lays off Crooks. Crooks trying to send one in, takes a deflection, and that one is going to go out for a corner kick. City's first one of the game. Yeah, so in regards to the kit, they're playing with their home shorts and their away top. So black top, orange bottoms. Of course, Southampton, although they are red and white up top, majority being white, they are black bottoms. So, City's first corner of the game. Let's hope that they can produce something. Amir whips it in. It's deep. It's Charlie Hughes! Hughes! Out of nowhere! It's the young defender. He's our number 4. And it's 2-0 inside of the first half. Charlie Hughes out of nowhere! What a peach of a corner. What a peach of a header. And it's Charlie Hughes with that cannon head of his to make it 2-0. Get in! Amir perfectly found Hughes at the back post and he fires it directly above the Southampton keeper into the back of the net. Not quite as good as his one away at Sheffield Wednesday last season, but that one is one that will make you happy for weeks to come. Especially when it's saying that it's made the score 2-0 in this one. City sitting pretty. Get in. Get in. Charlie Hughes makes it 2-0. And as I said before, you feel more comfortable with a 2-goal lead rather than a 1-goal lead. And especially when them 2 goals come in the first half and there's more to be detailed in this game. I said it's going to be end-to-end stuff. I wouldn't say that this is going to be it for this game. There's still another 55 minutes to be played. 10 left of this half and another 45 in the second half. Miller forwards, lays off to McBurney. Looks to go over the top towards Crooks, who I believe was offside. He was. And so Southampton going to pick themselves up a free kick inside of their own area. Fantastic stuff that from City. You wouldn't think that we're a side missing 11 players. Missing our top goal scorer. You wouldn't think that we're a side that have had setbacks and injuries come out of nowhere. We're playing a really, really good game so far in this one. And as I said yesterday, because the squad's so dwindled, it just puts more pressure on the players that are there to try and put on their A game. Try and put out their best performance they can do. And I've got to say, really, really strong performance so far from City. Let's not let up. As it's through now to Finazaz. He drags his shot wide. And that's going to be a goal kick for City. A few claims for offside. Wasn't quite given, but the goal kick has been given. So I said Finazaz seems to be off his game today. It's a shot there that he would have any other day probably pounced it into the back of the net. We'll just see the replay. He was offside. The linesman missed that one. Okay, Sarah. Hull City are winning 2-0. What can you do? He's our defender, he's our number 4. Signed for City, could you want more? Love it. You're looking magic and you know it's true. And I just come in, shiny O's. Miller into the box. Bit of a dodgy one there from Southampton, letting it run past so many people. But Miller gets it back out as this near-hand side. Tries to glide it past 2 players, and that wasn't quite working in that situation. So Finazaz picks it up to Fellows. Miller still in that battle with Fellows. Fellows charges away from him and now in a foot race with Akinfenwa. Lays it over towards someone on that far hand side. He's just snapped up a little bit there by our scrum half, Louis Kyle, who picks up the first yellow card of the game. As that proper scrum half challenge on Ryan Manning. Kyle charging right in to grab the ball, and as Manning sort of glides it away from him, just gets his back foot taken out by Kyle's knee. And so, free kick for Southampton played underway, but it's just going to be a pass between their defensive lineup. Very possession-heavy side this Southampton's team are. And they just aren't really producing with it. But all credit goes towards City on how they're lining up against it. Not having to go for a back 5 as well. They're putting in a solid defensive performance with a 4 at the back. Which, have we seen that yet this season for City? I'm not sure. I mean, have we seen other than the Middlesbrough game, have we seen a strong defensive performance from City this season? I'm not sure. Jeez, I go away for 15 minutes and it's 2-0. That's how it cracks, Mexico Rolls. That's how it cracks. Charlie Hughes makes it 2. Header from a corner. A corner as well. City have been absolutely terrible at their corners this season. And they just pick it up there. Free kick though for City as Akinfenwa is fouled. Miller's making a complaint to the ref as he was charging forwards with that one. And the advantage probably should have been played in that situation. But this ref decides not to. Sip out of the Hull City mug glass. As it's the magic of the Hull City mug glass is seeming to be working in this one. Of course, it's a 3-game week for the Tigers, so hopefully the result today, whether that can be holding out for another 5 plus 45 to make it a win, could start off quite a nice week. Of course, Preston midweek away at Deepdale. And then back to the MKM Stadium to face off against Stoke. Or is it Stoke? Oh, we're not playing Stoke on Saturday, are we? Who are we playing on Saturday? Is it... No, Swansea. I think I've been saying Stoke. I knew it was an S, and I've been seeing the red and white of Southampton. I've been saying Stoke. It's Swansea at home on Saturday. And as things currently stand, Hull City are back in the playoff places despite having a game in advantage. That's quite a feat, to be fair. And when you look at the teams that were playing this week, of course, Preston just above us. Both teams on 44 points, but Preston's goal difference is dramatically better. And we'll see how things shape up with that one at full time. So that Preston clash midweek could be quite a big one. More of a promotion 6-pointer, so to speak. And then with our game against Swansea, now they're looking a bit down in the dumps, sitting a whole 12 points beneath the Tigers in 17th. But focus firmly remains on this game ahead of us. Still plenty of time to be played in this one. But currently sitting 2-0 for City. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Still have a long battle here to go. And with that being said, if it is going to come down to a battle, the reinforcements from City on the bench, well, there's 3 academy lads on the bench, so We'll see how the reinforcements can shape up into this one. It might be a case that Hull City are coming into them final moments of the second half and going to have to rely on some of the younger lads. I trust Cather McCarthy. We'll see what James De Bayo can do in his Hull City debut if it comes to that. Of course, Hugh Parker, the other academy lad, he seems more as an attacker, more of a striker. But says he don't really have a striker on the bench other than Hugh Parker. The only two strikers that they kind of have at the moment is obviously Big Ollie McBurney, Kyle Joseph, who's out on the right wing today, with Enis Destan back with knee injury problems, I believe. That's one of the 11 absentees from this game for Hull City. Harwood Bellis whips it into the area. Finazaz chests it down, tries to take a shot, and once again pulls it so far wide that it's going to slowly roll out for a throw-in. I say Finazaz is off his game today for Southampton, and that just proves it. A really shocking shot. He should have more in turn played it off to Adam Armstrong, who was pouncing forwards on Ivo Panda. But there's making me sound like I want Southampton to grab a goal. I certainly do not. I'll be more than happy with City grabbing a big win and a clean sheet win as well on the road against Southampton here today. Headed forwards by McBurney down the line. Looking for Joseph. Goes back into the possession of Southampton. Charging forwards now go the Saints. Janda plays it out towards Fellows. Miller just takes that touch off Fellows. He's going to end up playing it back towards Wood. Wood to Janda. Janda, Azaz, Wood. Southampton just playing a bit of diamond or triangle passing football, as I should say, instead of the City half. No real complaints from City here, as long as they're blocking their passing avenues to get even more forwards, which they are doing so. City will be happy to see out this first half in this situation. Fellows in a bit of a battle with Liam Miller. Goes out towards Quashie. Quashie. Wood. Harwood Bellis now for Southampton. And now they're getting it going down this line. Fellows whips one in towards the area. Whipped away by Matt Crooks. Looking for McBurney. McBurney actually decides to take it down on his foot, but just gets pulled away from the ball. So Southampton have it back in their possession. Away by Amir. Only as far as Downs. Manning trying to send it back in. Downs. City. A couple of clear pushes to get the ball away. And it's now with Miller on this near-hand side. Going down that left flank for City. No one truly forwards. McBurney's getting forwards in the midfield, but quite a lot of players back for Southampton. Miller's going to try and go alone. He's pulled down in the box. Ref says nothing. That could have maybe been a claim for a penalty there. As the Southampton players now charging around the referee as Kyle puts a challenge in on one of their players, and I think they're more claiming the fact that that should possibly be a second yellow for Louis Cole. I'm more concerned about the fact on how he's not given a penalty for how Miller was taken down by Downs. Miller, clear possession of the ball inside of the penalty area, and Downs just comes behind him and takes out his feet. And the ref had a very clear view of it. Mere metres away. I'm baffled by it. And Miller's now going to talk to Downs. And Downs saying, no, I didn't take out your feet. I didn't take out your feet. And Miller's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I felt it. Well, I've just seen it. Crazy stuff. Kyle's just been pulled over with the referee. He's just going to have a little talk. I think he's saying it's a warning. Of course, Kyle already on a yellow card. Hughes is just having a talk with the ref. It seems like Hughes is getting a yellow card. Not sure what for. But Hughes picks up a yellow card. I'm not sure if Adam Armstrong did as well. Oh, it was Hughes who did the challenge, sorry. My mistake. Instead of Coyle. Cienza's helped back up onto his feet. So Hughes picks up the second yellow card of the afternoon. 3 minutes going to be added on in this first half. As play will get underway fairly soon. Cienza's just hobbling off the pitch. Presumably, they're going to see how he can fare up and maybe make a change at half time. Oh, there we go. That's how things crack here in the Championship. Who scored? I missed the 2 goals. Well, the first one, McBurney didn't score. Who scored? McBurney. McBurney didn't score. It was Kyle Joseph scored the first one as McBurney pounced on the mistake by the defensive lineup from Southampton, passing it around. So McBurney with the assist, Joseph with the goal. And then on the second goal, I presume it'd be Amir Zajmetrovic with the assist from the corner. And Charlie Hughes with a headed goal. Make it 2-0. McBurney picks the ball up for City. Trying to play it forwards, more to get it out of danger rather than set up anything attacking for City. Southampton trying to charge forwards now. Akinfamuo nicely does to play off Fellows, I should say, to pick up City the goal kick here. As Cienza hobbles back onto the pitch, still looking a little bit worse for wear. It might be a situation where he's going to try and hold himself out for this remainder of this first half for Southampton. Joseph and Hughes, yes, that is right, Dylan. I thought Max Crooks was injured. Well, he did pick up an injury in the warm-up for the Blackburn Rovers FA Cup game last Sunday. He was all good and possibly able to play today, although the word we heard from Sergei Kirovich through the Hull Live article yesterday was that it probably is going to be a situation where Crooks and Lundstrom won't start this game. They could feature off the bench, but it probably will be a situation where they'll go very light on them. But Crooks is starting, Lundstrom's on the bench, so guess that report's out the window. So fair play. Of course, Palmer's on the bench as well. He was 50-50 for today. Yeah, he was. Trying to weld and grind while listening in the background isn't easy. Yeah, I can imagine. But hopefully you are celebrating there with your welding and your grinding gear for the 2-0 lead that City have. Going to be soon coming into the half-time interval. McBurney playing a bit of header tennis with Southampton, try and clear it away. Slater with a sliding block. Now looking to go over the top to try and find Cienza on this flank. And he's just gone rolling down to the deck. Coyle did really smart there to know about the offside line and that Cienza was offside. And so the offside call is going to be called before Cienza can even complain about not getting a free kick or anything there. And Coyle walks away like the man who knows all, as he knew about how that defensive line worked. And it's going to be Ivo Panda to take this free kick. Presumably this is going to be the last kick of the first half. And it is. Expertly predicted by myself. So Hull City lead 2-0 in the first half. Second 45 to come in a bit. But that's all good stuff so far. Of course, you can vote on the poll in the chat who you think will win for this game. Probably your votes are more leaning in favour of Hull City with the 2-goal lead coming into half-time. And I'll leave that poll up for a little bit. We'll go through the scores elsewhere in the Championship. And, of course, have a little look at the table as things stand at half-time. So, let's wrap through the early kickoffs and, obviously, last night's kickoff. As things are all getting ready, going for the second half. Okay. Great half indeed, Dylan. West Brom Middlesbrough Middlesbrough, of course, that finished with that late goal from Middlesbrough to make it a 3-2 win for them yesterday. That's that last night kickoff. And then early kickoffs today, Coventry came from behind to win 2-1 against Leicester City. Ipswich Town beat Blackburn Rovers 3-0. Watford 0, Millwall 2. Coming into the fixtures from this 3 p.m. kickoffs today. Obviously, Southampton, Hull City, that's 2-0 Hull City sitting at the moment. Sheffield Wednesday and Portsmouth is currently goalless. So is Preston and Derby County. So is Oxford and Bristol City. And so is Stoke and QPR. That's 4 games there in a row that are sitting at 0-0. Wrexham 1, Norwich 1, and also Charlton, Sheffield United, that is sitting 0-0 as well. Although that one hasn't quite reached full time. There has been a red card, or a couple actually. Is that 2 red cards? 2 red cards for Sheffield United in that game. They're sitting at 45 plus 6. 2 red cards. Tanganga, their defender, and Sumar, obviously one of their midfielders, both seen red in this one for Southampton. And I believe that Charlton have been forced into making a change as well. So, seems all things are going there. That's why they're having so much extra time. Charlton, Sheffield United. 2 red cards in the first half and a forced change. Game and a half there. And it's 0-0. So, it's 5 games currently sitting at 0-0 in the Championship. Of course, City are the only side winning at the moment at the 3 p.m. kickoffs. And what that does for the table, well, let's talk about it. Hull City sit themselves in 6th in the table. Of course, they have that game advantage over the likes of Preston and Millwall currently sitting ahead of them. Of course, Preston are currently playing and Millwall played earlier. And Millwall, they won early, didn't they? Yes. So, I mean, if Millwall didn't win early, Hull City would be sitting themselves, I believe, in 5th. Yes, they would be. So, things are looking quite good for City at the moment. Massive Hull fan here. What a result so far. I'm at the game. Well, big up, Harry. Hope you're enjoying the match as much as we are here on the watch along on the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel. And up the Tigers. Up the Tigers. We currently sit ourselves in 6th place. Of course, all things are a bit tight around them sort of early playoff places. And with Coventry winning their game today, they sit 11 points above City as things stand at the moment. 5 points above City and Middlesbrough in 2nd place. So things are still in a tight capacity at the top ends of the table. Greetings from Germany. Greetings from East Yorkshire. Hopefully you're having a lovely Saturday there in Germany. And Hull City currently winning this one is making it even better. So yeah, as things stand, of course, we play Preston on Tuesday night, so we'll see how things shape out at full time. I mean, Preston could very well lose this game that they're currently 0-0 at half time in, and Hull City could sit themselves above Preston ahead of the game on Tuesday. By a point it would be, but still 5th place isn't anything to shake a stick at, considering that we also have a game in advantage to play, of course, that Watford game that got postponed due to the ice around the pitch. Need Derby to win so we can just sneak into 5th. That's what I'm saying, Dylan. That's what I'm saying. If we can grab a cheeky 5th place with Derby picking up an away win at Deepdale, that would be massive. Up the Tigers, Harry. Up the Tigers. So yeah, big stuff for Hull City at the moment. Of course, the injuries are going to probably play their factor at some point, but keep on trying, riding the hot hand, keep on players putting out performances like this. And I mean, we look at the bench. You've got Lundstrom, who will be looking to get some minutes here today, slowly working it back, but still, there's players going to be on the fringes of coming back in the next couple of weeks. So it's not all bad news in the injury front. It certainly is. Oh, apologies, I've just knocked my mic, so apologies if you had a big clatter there. It's not all bad news on the injury front. There is quite a bit of bad news. Let's not shy away from it. It sounds like Darko Jamie's going to be out for 3 months. Balloumi's going to be out probably for another two and a half. Matazo's had a bit of a setback on his injury, on his ACL injury recovery. So it is pretty bad news on the injury standpoint, but it's not completely bad. You've got Gelhardt going to be returning soon. You've got Giles, who's probably going to return at the beginning of February. Of course, you've got Crooks and Lundstrom back today. So it's not fully bad news, and the additions in this January transfer window will help. Toby Collier coming as early as tomorrow, probably. I could very well see the transfer happening either tomorrow or Monday. Of course, the deal is proposed to be done ahead of the trip to Deepdale, although he won't be available in that squad. And then sounds like City are also, as well as the Seny Dieng deal that we're currently unsure on where things stand with that one, but it sounds like City might be in the search of a winger this transfer window. Of course, Bellumi out for a stretch of time, so maybe to pick a winger up, maybe on a loan deal, might be worthwhile. Of course, Ndala hasn't quite broken into the flow that we thought. Certainly is a good player there, but still feels very, very raw and has quite a big learning curve to undertake. Of course, it's his first bit of senior football as well, Ndala, so all the credit to him. But be interesting to see what leaves Hull City this transfer window. We have been told there is going to be quite a few. And it might be Akintola or another winger. It might be Ndala sent back to Man City, who knows. What's my thoughts on the Rosinia reunion? Well, it was destined to be, wasn't it? We always knew it was going to be one of them few teams that were there in the draw that Hull City had connections with. And of course, it was going to be Chelsea, wasn't it? I saw the draw and I knew as soon as the ball picked up, I went, that's Chelsea's ball. Jaw dropped. I couldn't believe it, even though I believed it, if you get what I mean. Can't wait for our cup game. I just knew we would draw Chelsea, but I reckon we might get the win. Well, hopefully we can do. We've had very, very bad luck against Chelsea, both in the league, in friendlies, in the cups, in seasons prior. So, yeah, could be an interesting one. And Ndala definitely has the quality, just hasn't achieved it yet. Yeah, he's just not quite there. He's just missing that one factor, whatever that one factor is. So hopefully, I mean, very well things could crack right and he could have a brilliant second half of this season. But is time pressing on for City, especially in the current situation? Who knows? Yeah, let me check. When did Hull City last beat Chelsea? Hull City's record against Chelsea. Loss. We'll be back in 1989. Oh, 88, sorry. 1988 in the old second division. We won at home 3-0 against Chelsea. That's it's quite a while. It's quite a while. And I believe that's all I've got on my list here, but that seems to be the only time we've won against Chelsea. So one win in front of, at the time, it was just shy of 7,000 fans in 1988. 25th of October, 1988. Mental. And of course, last two times we've met Chelsea, both been in the FA Cup. Last time, of course, at the MKM Stadium, a 2-1 loss in 2020. It's mental, that. Not too long ago, yeah, not that long ago, 1988. Only, if I can do the quick maths off the top of my head, is that 38 years ago? If my maths works out correct. Yeah. Hopefully McBurney doesn't go. I feel that McBurney's here to stay. I think City will be wanting to keep hold of him. Certainly this transfer window. And maybe through into next season as well. If they can pick off bringing Gelhardt in on a permanent in the summer. I think things are going to be looking good for City next season, no matter what league they're in. If they're in the Championship, if they're in the Premier League, I think City will be looking in a pretty good situation next summer. embargo, free restrictions pending. Of course, things can always change on a dime with City. As we say, it's never dull in all. Brilliant half from City, but my God, Southampton are the proverbial rear end of it. Yeah, they're like a crap version of that Middlesbrough squad that we faced off against at Teesside. They're just that's literally what I'm seeing. I'm seeing them trying the same manoeuvres. I'm seeing them try the same style of play. Of course, they have the possession and all that sort of stats going their way, but they're just not producing anything. And it seems like the players have lost it a little bit. As I said, coming into this one, they're 6 games without a win in the league. And as things stand, they're going into their 7th game without a win in the league, which is quite a feat for a side that were started the season a bit slow, picked up some results, and then have gone back to going a bit slow all of a sudden. Right, I'm going back for the second half. I'll come back at 8 minutes. Come on, you all. Come on, you all. What a first half. What a first half indeed, Red Dragon. I'm going to end the poll in the chat now. So I'll give you 5 seconds to give your last predictions on what you think the scoreline, or who you think will win. Give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ended the poll. As it seems, Hull City are the favourites of you lot in the poll in the chat. Hull City with a 63% win from you lot. Southampton with a 28% win and a draw with a 9% win out of them. 54 votes, I should say, sorry. So it's fantastic stuff. Hull City win prediction is what we're thinking. That's what I'm thinking. As things currently stand 2-0. Players all getting ready for this second half. I'm in Tenerife. This is the closest I can get to a stream. Up the Tigers. Up the Tigers indeed, Basil Fawlty. Can't start a fire. You certainly can't start a fire without the Tigers. Can't start a fire without Kyle Joseph. Can't start a fire without Charlie Hughes. And let's see if this second half can produce some more wonders for the Tigers. And we could even maybe see some debuts coming along the way with that of Hugh Parker and James DeBayo on the bench for the Tigers, and possibly a return of John Lundstrom. But that's going to be changes to come later on. It seems like at the moment City will be rolling out the same starting lineup, but Southampton are going to be making a change, as it is number 17 Quarshi. He's going to come off in replace of number 38 for Southampton, that being Elias Gelhart, or Gelhart. I mean, I could say his first and his surname 2 different ways. Up the Tigers indeed. Charlie Hughes best not be going anywhere this month. I don't think he will be. I think Hull City have stayed clear of that situation. Oh, it's going to be a change for City in the second half. Who's come off and who's coming on? I believe it might be Cathal McCarthy. The camera angle's quite a wide shot, so I can't quite see. But I believe Cathal McCarthy's just come on the pitch. I mean, Regan Slater to get us underway. I believe it might have been Akinfenwa off. Cathal McCarthy is the man on to bring out some more defensive sureness in the back. And it's going to be I can't see Akinfenwa on the pitch anywhere, so it must be of him to come off. And City might be going to a back 5. Miller to possibly play the left wing back, unless you're seeing either Egan or Hughes playing at left back. City currently in the possession going forwards. And we'll see as things crack going in the second half how City is shaping themselves up, if it is a back 5 or whether they are interested in one of the centre halves to play at left back. Of course, they do have Matty Jacob, who is a left back, on the bench. But the more steering in this interval period, the more steered to go towards Cathal McCarthy rather than bringing on the left back in replace of Akinfenwa. So that's the change for Tigers at half time. Is there an update on how Gelhart's doing? I believe he's still going all good. I believe he's nearing his return at the back end of the month. So we could possibly be a couple of weeks, if that. off getting Gelhardt to return. Of course, it'll be a slow build-up when he does return, but will be a much welcome return when he does so. Love what I've seen from Cathal McCarthy, especially with his age, certainly. And I mean, the news coming out from this week that he's had a few Premier League clubs sniffing about him, but hopefully City can keep hold of him as Matt Crooks wins the ball back for City in midfield. Lays it forward to Wally McBurney, snapped down to the decks, but manages to feed the ball away from Matt Crooks. Advantage played this time by the referee. Crooks forwards. No one really in support from a City enterprise. Point of view is what I meant to say. So you're going to have to play it back towards Cathal McCarthy, and City will reconvene through the defensive line, sending it over towards the left-hand side. It seems like Charlie Hughes is playing left-back, and you still have Liam Miller up on the left wing. But very interesting to see how this goes. I believe it's Charlie Hughes' first stint as a left-back. I believe it's his actual first stint at being a full-back in any situation. So we'll see how things crack with that. Charlie Hughes is off. I believe Hughes is on. I believe Hughes is still at left-back. Let me double-check what the change was, because I haven't had it reported to me. Yeah, it was Akin Famo off and Cathal McCarthy on. Yeah. Charlie Hughes is at left back. I believe that might be what the confusion is. Yeah, you're not going to bring off Charlie Hughes at half-time unless something serious. Or it might be a situation where it's Miller, they're going to a back five out of possession with Miller as the left wing back, and then a back four in possession with Hughes at the left back. That's possibly what I'm seeing happening right in front of my eyes. But nonetheless, it's a very interesting situation. Of course, as I said, Matty Jacob is on the bench, is available to come on in this one. Managed to grab some minutes last Sunday in the FA Cup penalty win against Blackburn Rovers. Came off the bench in that one. Ball forwards for Matt Crooks. Feeds it back towards Kyle, trying to unleash Kyle Joseph. Don't quite happen, so Regan Slater picks it back up. Hughes sends it over towards Miller up on this left-hand side for City. Can't quite get it going forwards, as the man just subbed on for Southampton's there blocking him, Elias. Elias, can't remember his surname. And Ivo Panda fluffs the ball forwards, goes out for a throw-in. And so Cienza's going to take the throw-in on this near-hand side. Ref's just charging over towards the dugouts and going to get a yellow card. But who is it going to be for? Ref's pointing at someone. Yellow card. I believe it's for maybe Dean Holden. Someone on the bench for City. But not Sergei Ikievich in a shock. But someone, one of the coaches or technical staff for City have just been awarded a yellow card. Might get confirmation of that at some point. It wasn't Sergei Ikievich, he was sat down. Can't we recall Abu Kamara? He's not getting much game time at Getafe. I'm not sure what Abu Kamara could produce for City. Of course, it is an option, but I'm not sure if it is the right option for City in the current landslide of things. If you're going to bring someone in to be a winger, you probably want something a little bit like the deal that Hull City had for Amrabat last season. Armstrong with the volley. Ooh, just wide. Edge of the area. Snap that volley from Adam Armstrong. That one goes wide. Goal kick for City. Yeah, you want something maybe a little bit, maybe not Amrabat, because on the face of it, that could maybe be a move that could sway against Hull City being a promotion contender. But something like that where it's a bit more of a experienced winger, someone that you can maybe rely on putting in a decent shift week in, week out. And maybe when Balumi returns later on this season, isn't going to be completely shied away from going onto the bench in place of Balumi. Or maybe it could even be a loan deal for someone to come in on the wing. Because presumably City, if it does come down to playoffs and all things crack right, everyone's fit and ready to go by then, they'll be looking to start a forward line with McBurney, of course, up top. Out wide, Bellumi and Miller. And then presumably Gelhardt sitting behind McBurney. And then figure out the rest of your team from there. Forwards down this left-hand side goes Hughes. Hughes as a left-back is... Now that I'm seeing it a bit more, it seems to make a little bit more sense, to be fair. Ball whipped into the box by Coyle trying to find McBurney. His header doesn't quite produce anything. And McBurney seems a little bit frustrated with himself on that headed attempt. But still, things are swaying good for City. Throw in for themselves. Which Miller's going to take, which suggests to me that he is the left wing-back. So it must be Miller playing left wing-back, but just very high up the pitch, which is forcing Hughes in that back five setup to play so far over the left side that it looks like he's a left-back. Cathal McCarthy charging forwards with a bit of a Perlo-esque run. Lays it off towards Coyle. Coyle's ball into the box. Snapped away by Southampton. Crooks tried to play it to Charlie Hughes. Southampton win the ball back into possession. And they're going to start a counter-attack going now. Adam Armstrong charges offside, so Finn Azaz can't play the ball through to him. And so City will pick up the ball off that mistake from Southampton there. Liam Miller sends it forwards, looking for Joseph. Heads it towards McBurney. McBurney lays it off towards Matt Crooks. Crooks, Amir. To McBurney, to Crooks. Crooks just getting pulled back but charging forwards. And eventually finds his way to play through to Kyle Joseph. In the area, shoots, blocked. And that's going to go out for a throw-in for City. A little bit of a chaotic build going forwards. But it cracks there for City. And Kyle Joseph just looking a little bit tentative. And he's now getting subbed off, Kyle Joseph. Or is it Regan Slater? I know Regan Slater's just getting a few words in from Sergey. But yeah, Kyle Joseph off, Matty Jacob on. So maybe City are wanting that true left back, Matty Jacob coming on. He's just said the number 6, Matty Jacob. Let's say you go for a 6 back. Is Kyle Joseph just hobbling off? Hopefully there's not anything much in the reason why he's hobbling other than he just put a shift in. Matty Jacob, the left back, on now. And we'll wait until he's done this throwing in. We see City in formation. Miller, who was presumably the left wing back prior to this. Ball into the box, over towards Coyle. Headed by Ryan Manning, out of touch for a throw-in. Right down near the corner flag. Coyle's going to be able to take this one on this near-hand side. And I'm confused, in all fairness. I'm confused. It was a very, very rushed and panicked change, that one, though, there by Sergei Kirich to bring Joseph off and Matt Crooks on. You saw the panic in his face. But it can't have been anything to do with the reason why Joseph was hobbling off. Cheeky throw in there from Coyle. Just throws it off the back of Matt Crooks to get it back to himself. That's a cheeky 1-2 there off the throw-in. And City pick themselves up another throw-in over on the far-hand side, which Matty Jacob is going to take. Of course, a welcome re-addition to City. Spent the first half of the season out on loan at Reading. Was picked up an injury during September. Hasn't played really since then, apart from these few appearances he's been getting from City since the recall from Reading. Cathal McCarthy now plays it back towards Ivo Panda. Panda looking to send it sharply long. And it seems like as things have changed in this second half, so have both teams' tactics. As City now setting themselves up with a back five. Miller is now an attacking option. He's not the left wing back. And it's going to be a free kick in a bit of a dangerous area now for Southampton. Manning went down to the deck, I believe, on a foul from Matt Crooks. It's going to be a free kick in a dangerous area for Southampton here. Matt Crooks just bodies Ryan Manning down to the deck. See, it's going to be back five. Cathal McCarthy, Hughes and Egan as the centre halves. Coyle's right wing back. And then Matty Jacob as the left wing back. Of course, Matty Jacob, a man who impressed last season in his sort of breakout campaign, if you want to call it that, for City in a senior capacity. He's seems to be back in favour now with new manager Sergei Kirich. Of course, had a little bit of run with Sergei Kirich during pre-season before they move out to Reading. And it's going to be either Ryan Manning or Cienza going to take this free kick. City set up their wall to block anything happening towards that near hand post. And there's no problems with that free kick there from Cienza, right back towards Ivo Panda. Gets over the wall, and Panda, easy as you like, picks that one out the top right corner. Or I say top right corner with a bit of looseness in the term. But anyway, ball going forwards, and Southampton now having their possession as they try and look to regain some bit of control in this second half. Who's your player of the match so far? It might be Ivo Panda, in all fairness. Pulled out, I want to say, about 5 saves in that first half. Maybe more. But to be fair, everyone's given a good go at it. Everyone's had a good crack. And, yeah, I'm probably going to go Ivo Panda so far. Let me know who your player of the match is so far. Of course, that could very well change as this second half cracks on. 33 minutes to go. Coyle with the sliding block to stop Southampton breaking forwards into the final third. Amir Hadzaimechevich now charging away in the midfield. Looking to unleash Liam Miller on this left-hand side. Does so. Ball a bit heavy, but Miller stays with it and gets it into his possession. Sent into the box, looking for Crooks. Headed away by Southampton. Back into action by Amir, looking for Miller. It's going to be picked up by Elias from Southampton. And Miller tries to play one down the line from Matty Jacob, and Jacob just fouls the man who got subbed on at half-time for Southampton. And free kick for the Saints. Yeah, very interesting to see how Matty Jacob and Liam Miller are going to partner up down that left-hand side. Something that we haven't seen just due to the injuries that have not only been going on this season, but last season as well. A lot of claim during the week that Hull City take a look at their medical department. Of course, this isn't the first instance with heavy amount of injuries for the Tigers. Last season we had quite a number of players have ACL injuries, which has been a spillover into this season. And I say at the moment we're 11 players down, Hull City. Varying different injuries, varying different ways of picking them up. In games, warming up for games, we've seen that. Training. It's not quite Dukan Cynic where he's woke up in the morning, felt his leg and gone, I can't play football today. But it's similar lines, isn't it? It's similar lines. Wood now for Southampton, sending a ball forward towards Cienza. Manning laid it off for him, and he's taken a shot right at Cathal McCarthy, who sends that one out for a corner kick on this near-hand side. The same corner in which earlier on City managed to grab themselves that headed goal from Charlie Hughes on the corner. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. Seems to be Cienza coming to whip it in. Does so. Headed away by Charlie Hughes. He seems to be very good at heading balls down at that end of the field. Scored one at that end in the first half. Defending well in the second half. Half an hour remains in this one. City still leading 2-0 through the goals from Kyle Joseph and Charlie Hughes in that first half. And we'll just have a little check up on the scores. Of course, keeping a bit of an eye on the Preston Derby game, which is still 0-0. Every other game is still 0-0, apart from Charlton. Apart from, obviously, the Norwich game, which we talked about being 1-1. And that's got delayed in it now. What's happening in the Championship? Game is being suspended. Wrexham Southampton. Well, I'm not sure what's gone on there. Up the Tigers, Rob. Charlton have scored against the 9-man Sheffield United. What's happened with Wrexham and Norwich? If anyone has any idea, let me know. Sheffield United have had 2 reds. Yeah, it's mental stuff. It's been delayed. I know that. What's going on? Match interrupted. Medical emergency, apparently. Oh. Well, there we go. It all happens in the Championship. So that one's going to be a bit of a later finish time. Wrexham-Norwich currently at 1-1. It's starting again at 2:20. Thank you very much for... Starting again at 2:20? Do you mean 4:20? In the box, Panda just gone down to a knee to go and make that save there. So we're trying to figure out what is happening elsewhere in the Championship. I just went on to go and check about the Preston Derby game, and I've been pulled into a weird time warp of things with the delayed Wrexham-Norwich game, and of course Charlton-Sheffield United, with them Charlton having to make an early change and a double red card situation for Sheffield United in that one. Need some results to go our way for once, but still a very tight league nonetheless. Certainly is. Yeah, 4:20. Thank you, Village. Thanks for giving me the update. Be an interesting one to see about how that's cracking later on. Of course, when we have all the full-time scores in. But the one we're keeping an eye on, Preston Derby at the moment. Of course, Preston, if Derby win that game, Preston do go beneath us and City sneak into 5th with a game advantage as well. Okay, switching out wide towards Louis Coyle. Coyle charging up this right flank. Still charging up is Louis Coyle. Cutting in field. Side of the D. Shoots! Oh, and just gone wide by Louis Coyle. I believe it took a deflection. The referee's pointing out for a corner. So it took a deflection, that shot by Louis Coyle. But do not mind that at all. Charge forwards in possession of the ball. That's our scrum half. Gets into the centre of the field. Takes a shot. Takes a deflection. How would you like it? Got a deflection off the defender's face, I believe. Harwood Bellis, maybe? Yeah. There we go. City with a corner. Let's see if they can produce the magic that we saw in that first half. Amir has Zajametrovic to take it once again. Can he find Hughes' head? Whipped in. It's going to find Southampton's head, and they're going to send that one deeply away. A throw-in is going to be for City, halfway inside of Southampton's half. And Amir has Zajametrovic. Going to throw it in. And now apparently it's a throw-in for Southampton. I'm very confused at what's happened. Why is the ref giving the throw-in to Southampton there? Amir Zajametrovic took the throw-in for City, and then the ref's blown his whistle and given the throw-in to Southampton. It was very clearly, or I believe it was very clearly, unless I'm seeing things, a City throw-in there, but hey-ho. City have it back in possession with Liam Miller after Matty Jacobs' challenge. A couple of mats. Seems like Southampton are getting ready to make a double change on the sidelines. Liam Miller still with the ball in possession. Does well to get away from his man. Trying to switch it over towards Louis Cole. Doesn't quite happen. Cienza picks it up in the midfield for Southampton. Now singing it forwards down that right-hand side, looking to go Southampton. Trying to cut it more in field. And they're going to have a bit of a tough time, Southampton, getting into an advantageous spots with this back 5 of City. We saw it work wonders away at Middlesbrough last time out. Or not last time out, but last time out we had the back 5. It worked wonders. 1-goal win in that huge defensive performance, and City putting in a shift again here. So double changes coming now for Southampton as Hull City have themselves a goal kick. Seems finally Southampton are taking the note from me that Finazaz is coming off. That's really had a very subpar game for the Saints. And they're also going to bring off Fellows to make that double change. Person in the crowd taken ill. Oh, I wish them all the best then. Portsmouth now beating Wednesday. Funky stuff, funky stuff. Up Tigers indeed. What do you think of Cathal McCarthy? I'm very much enjoying the Cathal McCarthy train that we're on, Village. He's doing fantastic, but I'm being impressed with how quickly he shot up the ranks of City. Came in, going into his second year now? I think he signed in February of 2024, if my memory serves him correctly, into the academy. And he's shot up and he's now on the fringe of a permanent first teamer with Premier League clubs being interested in him. I mean, that speaks wonders to his work ethic. I think Coyle has improved a lot since becoming our scrum half. You love the scrum half, don't you, Dylan? You've got to love it. Headed forwards now by City between Matt Crooks, Amir and McBurney. McBurney switches out towards Liam Miller on the left-hand side. Liam Miller going forwards down this left-hand side. Looking to play it in a cheeky backheel towards Amir. Tries to send one into the box. Doesn't quite happen. Headed away by Southampton. Back towards Amir. To Miller. Miller. Jacob ahead of him. Plays it to Jacob. Cuts in field. Gets past one. Into Amir Hazaimetrovic. Shoots. Blocked by Southampton. Gathered once again by John Egan. Out towards Liam Miller. Miller in a one-on-one man. Sends it into towards the box. Southampton turn it away once again. Out for a throw-in for City. And so it'll be Matty Jacob to take that throw-in on the far-hand side. Yeah, you've got to love the scrum half. It's the little things that matter, isn't it? I just love how this scrum helmet, whatever it is, he doesn't seem to want to stay on his head. Every time he does like a header or he runs or something, he always has to like readjust the head, the helmet. It's funny. I think the Tiger Leisure need to get branded scrum half with the Hull City badge on and start selling them to the fans. Imagine seeing the entirety of N5 with scrum helmets on for Louis Coyle. Would be a sight to be seen. As Ryan Manning's shot, well, if you can call it a shot, it was very, very much wide of the mark from Southampton. And City, with 22 minutes remaining in this one, still sitting 2-0 ahead. In what could be a third successive win against Southampton in the league. Of course, beat them 3-1 at the MKM Stadium earlier this season. And time before that was that wondrous 2-1 win in the 2023-24 season. Of course, under Rosinu at the time. I believe Fabio Carvalho scored in that game to grab the winning goal for City. I believe I also did a live stream for that game as well. I have a feeling I can remember the Fabio Carvalho goal and reaction. Well, 20 minutes remain in this one to try and make that three in a row against the Saints in the league. And grab all 6 points possible from the Saints this season. And it would be a big 3 points that. As I was discussing with a few of you in the comments of the prediction preview video yesterday, it's more of a, if Hull City can pull out the win here, it's a statement maker. Sent into the box, headed away by Hull City. Cienza now for Southampton. Whips it into the area. Oh, that sneaks past Ivo Panda! I'm not sure who got the final touch, if it was Cienza's goal or if it was number 11 for Southampton. I think it was number 11. He's celebrating like he's just won the World Cup. Stewart. I say celebrating like he's won the World Cup. He's picked up the ball and gone running back towards the centre circle. But it's going to be Stewart who claims the goal there for Southampton. The ball just feeds right through every man from City. And Stewart just gets a touch which I believe fools Panda in the end. So I think Panda was going to make the save on the ball through from Cienza. But it was Stewart's little touch right at the end that sent it past Panda the wrong way. Smartly done there by Southampton. And we now have a 2-1 game on our hands. Didn't want a clean sheet anyway. Yeah, it's Hull City. You can't ask for too much, can you? Oh dear. Well, I'd rather have the win than a 0-0 clean sheet. So, que sera, sera. Always find a way to concede, don't we? We certainly do. We certainly do. Oh, dear. So let's hope that either City can find another or hold out for these remaining 18.5 minutes at St Mary's. Southampton maybe trying to find their last bit of groove. Winless in 6 coming into this one, as we talked about. And they're seeming to try and catch their second wind here. So with Ryan Manning. So going infield now for Southampton. Back towards Harwood Bellis. Looking to switch it out wide. They do so. Matty Jacobs in a one-on-one with the Southampton man. Gets it into the box. Feeds off towards Burrows. Not Burrows. I don't know why I said Burrows. I mean Downs. Sending it harshly back into the box goes Southampton. Kyle chests it and then volleys it away. Not completely away though from City. And Southampton pick the ball back up in their possession. And Crooks fouls them as a result of it. Surprise out of all the players that Crooks hasn't been shown yellow yet. Seems like every game that Matt Crooks plays, he's going to get a yellow card. And it's only Coyle and Hughes who have been shown the yellows yet. Of course, I'm not complaining and saying that I want Matt Crooks to get a yellow card. I'm just saying it's a bit of a shocking factor. But anyway, Ryan Manning gets tangled up a little bit with the referee. Still, City take advantage of that and pick the ball back up. But then McBurney's dispossessed by Wood. And so Southampton have the ball back in their possession. A double change is on the cards for City. It appears that Wrexham-Norwich game has resumed as Norwich have apparently just scored, making it 2-1. So hopefully all things are good with that medical emergency and everyone is all good. Southampton going forwards inside of the box. Away by City. Charlie Hughes with that sliding tackle to take it away. Southampton back at it though. Cienza. Out wide towards Ryan Manning. Back into the box for the Saints. Southampton shoots and that one, well, they can go and pick out of row Z. It's high and wide by Janda for Southampton. And it might be the double change time now for City. It is going to be. It's going to be John Lundstrom to come on for Liam Miller. Lundstrom, of course, returning back to his Hull City action. Played one game after coming back from his last injury. And then suffered another injury a couple of days after that Stoke City game. And then it's going to be Joel Ndala on for Louis Coyle. Okay, we're probably going to see Regan Slater go to right back, Lundstrom to take over Regan Slater in midfield, and then Ndala to take over Miller's spot at left wing. As Coyle takes off his scrum hat, claps the travelling supporters as he departs. For Joel Ndala. So double change there being for City. We'll just wait to see how things shake out in the formational play. But I believe I'm going to be right. If City do still want to stick with that back five. Mipanda to take this goal kick. Hughes did take the captain's armband as the vice captain for the Tigers. And it is going to be that situation. Lundstrom and Amir Hadzaimejlovic in them deep midfield roles. Still got Matt Crooks forwards. In sort of a right wingy role, maybe. But it's going to be a 5-2-2-1, maybe, if you want to call it that. 5-2-3, however you want to call it. from City here. Still playing with the 5-back. Slater at right back. He's called into early action one-on-one with Cienza. Whipped it into the box. Headed away sharply there by Charlie Hughes, who's on the headers today. Away with Ollie McBurney, who's in a battle with 2 players for Southampton. He does well to keep the ball in possession, and then the ref eventually does blow for a free kick for Hull City. After Jander's little bit of nibbling on the Hull City number 9. Another change for Southampton. It's going to be Jander coming off in place of number 27 for them. Just double check who that is. Oh, my mouse is just... There we go. It wasn't working for a second. Number, what did I say? 27, Matsuki. Matsuki coming on for the Saints in replace of Jander. So quite a big turnover for Southampton, trying to look to grab some more goals in this one for themselves, but Hull City trying to do the same. Ball forwards. Ollie McBurney chasing it down towards this corner flag. Looking to whip it in. He's going to instead feed it in towards Regan Slater. Regan Slater just tippling in towards the box. Looks to go for a shot. Matsuki calling to the action to block that shot from Regan Slater. Out towards Matty Jacob. Jacob Slater. Lundstrom's first bit of action. A ball out wide to Ollie McBurney. And a sliding challenge there from Ryan Manning. Sends it out for a throw-in for the Tigers on this near-hand side. Regan Slater, who now that Cody Drammer's joined the injured list, seeming to be the backup right back. And called into that action, of course, played a bit of right back for City under Rosinia, Volta, and also under Sayers at little points. Throughout Slater's quite long time now at City. Got to be one of the, if not the longest serving City player, if you want to include his loan period before they made it a permanent one. Kyle might have the legs on him, but other than that, I can't think of anyone else that senior wise. Of course, you can talk about Matty Jacob, has been in the academy since I believe he was 13, but senior wise, I'm not sure there's many long serving players left after Jones and McLaughlin departed in the summer. Lundstrom with an early sliding challenge there. Hopefully he can pace himself and we don't see another injury spell for Lundstrom. That's the fear with City at the moment is, where's the next injury going to come from? You can almost guarantee it to happen in every game. Luckily, I don't think we've seen one in this game. Of course, you can be a bit tentative about Joseph limping off, but I don't think there was anything too much in it. Other than the change was happening on Joseph, I mean. Just went in for a bit of a ball. But the change had happened. The change was planned to happen before any signs of limping off the field. But I credit that more to the effort that Joseph put in. City really playing an aggressive ball here. Trying to hold out for these remaining 10 minutes plus. Derby have scored! Hull City are in 5th in the table as things stand. And McBurney just picks up a free kick. Well, there's a little thing to celebrate. Derby County have scored, which means it's now Derby 1, Preston 0. And Cienza takes down McBurney to win the free kick there for the Tigers. 10 minutes remain. And the Tigers slip themselves into 5th place. Of course, game advantage as well, with a game still to play for the Tigers. So fantastic stuff there. Yes, yes indeed, Dylan. Finally get to watch the feed and the goal for Southampton. I got to get back to work. Are you the lucky or unlucky charm, so to speak? Mexico rolls. Oh dear. You're more than welcome to stay on the stream. I have faith in the City boys to hold out in this one. There's a Crooks just playing a few excellent little passes and a back flick there to feed it off to keep City progressing nicely up the field. Ndala through to Matty Jacob. Matty Jacob trying to turn the favour to Ndala. It's blocked by Southampton. Southampton now trying to charge that ball forwards. It goes dribbling out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for City over on that far-hand side. Just inside of their half. Just got to wait for Matty Jacob to get back to take the throw-in. Southampton a bit frustrated about that, but there's not too much that you can do when you're left wing back, the man who's going to take your throw-ins down that left-hand side, is all the way up at the other end of the pitch. And so Southampton regaining the ball now. Matsuki. Or Matsuka, can't fully remember. Number 27 nonetheless for Southampton in the midfield. 8 minutes plus remain in this one. As City, I believe, still have one change that they can make. Or two. No, I don't think they actually have any changes that they can make anymore. McCarthy, Jacob, Lundstrom, 3, and Darla. No, they've got one more change, I think, yeah. So they have still got one more change, so we could possibly see a Hull City debut for James De Beer, who's apparently going to wear the number 99 shirt. If we see that happen in this game, we'll see it happen. E-I-E-I-E-I-O, up the Football League we go. When we get promotion, this is what we'll sing. We're all Sergei is our king. E-I-E-I-E-I-O, up the Football League we go. Southampton have a free kick at the moment. A bit from range. It's going to be a swing in. It's done so. Hughes heads it over towards Crooks. Crooks charging out. Slides to take that one away from Southampton. But offside will be called in the process from Southampton. And so it's going to be a free kick for the Tigers. You've got to love it, Basil Fawlty. You've got to love it. Good times are currently at City. And who thought they would be this season? We thought we was on track for maybe even a worse season than what we saw last season under Volta with Hull City and all the fee restrictions and everything that went on in the summer. But I mean, to say that we're in a situation at the moment where we can't sign anyone with fees attached to it, so we can't sign anyone permanently basically, unless it's a free transfer, and that we're in a situation where we have 11 players injured, it's crazy to see good times. Especially on the road against a team like Southampton, who many people tipped to be up and amongst them playoff places, myself included, coming into this season. A side that had just come down from the Premier League. Of course, it was a rough season for them in the Prem last season. But still, parachute payments and all that. Looking for a bit of a newer project, so maybe that can stay into things. But still, Hull City, currently in 5th, currently winning 2-1. 6 minutes plus remain. Looking for their 3rd successive win against Southampton in the league. Been a long time coming, it certainly has. I mean, you look back 10 years ago was our last time getting promoted to the Premier League. Of course, 9 years since our last time in the Prem. It was only a 1-year stint our last time up there. And we was up there 10 years ago thanks to a Diame goal at Wembley. Because something similar happened this year. Not quite Diame, but could it be Crooks? Could it be McBurney? Could it be Gelhardt? Or could it be someone you have no idea, and it could be a Cathal McCarthy to grab the winner at Wembley in a possible playoff final? Who knows? Still a long road to there if it is going to happen for City this season, but they're going the right way about it at the moment. 5 minutes plus remain in this one. Got to hold out this game first. Once again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Southampton in possession inside of City's half. Playing the ball forwards. McBurney, does well to come in to try and gain possession. Doesn't quite fully work. So Woods lays it off to Matsuki, who just goes in a bit, studs up on McBurney. McBurney down rolling around his ankle. The ref doesn't see anything. There's been about 4 players just gone down to the deck. Crooks, someone for Southampton. The ref is calling over now. I'm unsure on why that wasn't a foul on the Crooks deal. Studs up into studs up into Ollie McBurney's ankle. I'm frustrated. I'm getting Crooks and McBurney confused. Hughes going over claiming the stakes to the referee. I think Matsuki should be at least shown a yellow card there. Studs up into Ollie McBurney. You've got to have a death wish at that point. Studs up right into his ankle. Watching the replay. The ref, once again, absolutely oblivious to the situation. If there was a bit more force in that, McBurney could possibly have a snapped ankle at the moment with how it sort of went crumpled into the floor. This referee, I mean, we say it time and time again, but these referees in the Championship are absolutely appalling. He has absolutely no clue. And he's now going to give a drop ball to Southampton, I believe. He is. Crazy stuff. And now City are playing down men because they've got to have McBurney on the sidelines for 30 seconds because he received treatment. Stupid, stupid. I believe City getting ready to make a change. Akintola looking like he's ready to come on. Slater heads away from City. Just looking to survive until McBurney's reintroduced. And he's finally going to be gestured back on. I'm not sure who Akintola would be eventually coming on for. Possibly Matt Crooks. Saying that he was injured coming into this one. Maybe it could be John Lundstrom. Who knows? Things pressing nicely though at the moment for City. 2.5 minutes plus remain. Standing off Southampton. Whipped into the area by the Saints. Away by Slater. Away once again by McBurney. That's gone really deep forwards. Southampton's keeper inside of the centre circle. Going to try and play that one back into action quickly for the Saints. Sergei Yakiewicz getting quite animated on the touchline for City. I don't think we've seen him so animated. Tim Volter-esque on the touchline. Very animated. Seems to be very frustrated with what he's seeing at the moment. What I'm seeing at the moment is City doing everything they can to try and hold out for this win. Ball into the area. Adam Armstrong. Tipped once again by Regan Slater, who's putting in a bit of a shift in this right back position for City. Or right wing back spot, if you want to call it that. Shot from range from Cienza. And that's over the crossbar. Minute and a half plus. And it looks like this might be a perfect chance for City to make that change as the goal kick for the Tigers is oncoming. As I said, it's Amir Hadzaimeciovic off. David Akintola on. And Southampton are going to have a change for themselves. It looks like it's Archer on. Well, that's who it looked like was getting ready. And who's going to be coming off? Ryan Manning goes running over, so it could be him. I think it is. So, change for either side into this final period. Amir off. Akintola on. Add some support on that right-hand side. Akintola's going to do so. And then the change for Southampton. Archer on, and I believe it was Ryan Manning off. Ugh. These Championship refs are shocking week in, week out. There's 30 seconds remaining. Oh dear, Leeds have scored. It's 1-0 Leeds, 91st minute. But we don't care about that because City are currently winning. There probably is going to be some stoppage time, which we'll find out in the next couple of seconds. It's a very stressful match. Would be great if we win. It certainly would be. Find out in a couple of seconds. 4 more minutes to be played. So we've got 4 more minutes to hold out for in this one. Panda's got a goal kick to take. 4 minutes. That's all City have got left to hold out for. Can they grab one in that time? Would make it an even more delightful win if it does crack that way. Ball forwards, headed by McBurney. Chested down by McBurney, but free kick goes Southampton's way. Can't have too much of a complaint there, as they're going to try and get things going underway very quickly. Southampton, the goalkeeper's going to take it. Try and send everyone upfield. 1.5 minutes remain of this 4 additional. Sorry, 3.5 minutes. If 1.5 minutes remained, that time gone by very quickly. But yeah, ball forwards by Southampton's keeper. That's going to sail over everyone's head. And it's going to be a throw-in for City over on that far-hand side. Matty Jacobs going over to go and take it. The ref's just having a word once again with Ollie McBurney. It looks like he was reaching for his pockets. It might be in a yellow card there for McBurney. We'll just have a look in a second. Unless he was just shoving his hand in his pocket for the fun of it. I don't think he did give a yellow card to McBurney. But McBurney and the ref have been having an exchange of words all game. The ref seems to either be a fan of McBurney or a passionate hater of McBurney. Southampton getting the ball back into play very quickly once again. Within their defensive line, it's Wood at the moment for Southampton. Charging forwards. Very rightly put, whoever put it, it's a very stressful game, it certainly is. I'm feeling the grey hairs going. Hull City is me today. Hull City is everyone today, my friend. Hopefully you're having a lovely Saturday. And if Hull City can hold out for this win, it makes it even better. Wood with the ball for Southampton. About halfway into City's half. Adam Armstrong picks it up, turns forwards, Matsuki. Into the box for Southampton, blocked by Regan Slater. Akintola out to McBurney, Unleashed forwards by Regan Slater. Akintola's charging onto it in a race with Wood, chests it, and sends a bit of a dodgy ball over towards the Southampton keeper, who's having to run over to it. That's going to take time away from a Southampton possible attack coming. A minute and a half remain in this one of the 4 additional. Or should I say a minimum of a minute and a half. Slater stops that ball forwards, lays it off to McBurney. Hughes fires it forwards, right at the Southampton manager. That's good time wasting and good clearing of the ball there from our captain at the moment, Charlie Hughes. Ball forwards from Wood, right back into the thick of it. Headed away by Slater. Once again by Akintola. McCarthy sends it over towards Akintola. Akintola sends himself down to the decks. But I think it's just going to be a throw in there for Southampton. Sent in. Matsuki. Whipped into the area. Away by McBurney. The battle is true in this one. Matsuki charging back, lays it off towards the Southampton keeper. Southampton could lose this game. They very well could. They are on the track to do so at the moment. 30 seconds minimum remains of this 4 additional that we've seen and this at the end of this game. It's going to be a throw-in for City. A red card? A red card for someone? Red card for one in the technical area, a coach for City. Miller's face says it all, the confusion. It's going to be one of City's coaches, not Sergei Yakirovich, shown the red card. Expertly done time wasting by the referee, in all fairness. Ball gets thrown back in play. We're over 94 minutes now, so ref could blow his whistle at any point. Akintola charging forwards on this one. Holds it up in a one-on-one battle. Charging towards the area, David Akintola. A couple of step overs in a bit of a battle. Goes down. Free kick for Southampton. Possibly the last charge of the game. The ball was rolling as he took the free kick. Southampton get it underway. Ref's not really caring about if the ball's taking place where it's meant to be doing, because he kind of lost his rag on this game from minute 1. But it doesn't matter, because it's full time. There's a red card to someone on the coaching staff for City. We'll talk about that throughout the week. But City grabbed the 3 points in a big match and see themselves raise themselves to 5th place. Game in advantage still for the Tigers. And that's big stuff for Sergei Yakirovich's depleted City squad. A huge lack of players. 11 players out for the Tigers. But it doesn't matter. The goals come when they need to. And the defence does the job. Charlie Hughes it would be with the winning goal. Of course, that second goal in the first half. And Joseph's opening one as well, after McBurney capitalised on the missed play at the back from Southampton. Huge stuff from City there. Let's go up the Tigers indeed. Come on, yes. Let's go GG, up the Tigers. Great stream today, mate. Keep up the content. Thank you very much, Basil Fulty. Thanks for joining in whilst you're away on your hollybobs. Hopefully this is bringing everyone's Saturdays up a bit. The away end is bouncing there at St Mary's. Literally bouncing. as Hull City win 2-1 once again on the road at Southampton. This is how we won our last game at St Mary's, and it makes it 3 wins in a row against Southampton on the road. And I mean, that's ridiculous. A Southampton player's just gone over to go and give his shirt to a fan, a child fan, and the father, I presume, of said child fan is just shouting abuse at the player. And it seems like all things are dismay at Southampton at the moment, as that's 4 games without a win in the league for them. But we're talking about Hull City here, as they pick up their first win of 2026 in the league, with 2 goals in the first half and a fair dominant performance from the Tigers. Just waiting to hear Burnsley on the highlights as bonus. It certainly is a bonus hearing Burnsley go. As McBurney and Carl are just exchanging a few words. I think they're having a nice little joke about things. As the players are taking in the bouncing away end to close out this one. What a club at the moment. Oh, Mexico Rolls! Thank you very much for the donation. You do not have to do that at all. Thanks, as always, for the great stream. Hit the like for this man. Thank you very much, Mexico Rolls. Much appreciated. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your Saturday, and hopefully the rest of your 20-hour shift goes well. Hopefully it's, as I said at the start of the stream, brightened up with the fact that Hull City have grabbed themselves a huge win. And I can't take the smile off my face due to this City squad. It feels in shades to how it felt in that 2023-24 season under Rosinia, where everything just seemed to be good vibes. Even though the season ended not the way that we wanted to, we sacked Rosinia. I still remember that season for the absolute highs that that team gave us. And despite the squad being depleted as it is, 11 players missing, they are still playing with that energy. They're still playing with that high, and everything is still cracking very well for them. Oh, Basil Faulty! Honestly, people, you do not have to donate whatsoever. Thank you very much. Up the Tigers. Have a great weekend all. Thank you very much, Basil Faulty. Thank you very much, Mexico Rolls, once again. I hope that you both have a lovely... I hope everyone has a lovely rest of their weekend. Of course, as is standard here on the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, I'll have my reaction to the game, take a bit more of a deep dive into what we just saw, the 2-1 win for Hull City against the Saints. I'll give that out within the next hour or so, depending, of course, on the YouTube upload time. So stay tuned on the channel by liking and subscribing to see that. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined the stream today. Thank, of course, to Mexico Rolls and Basil Faulty for the donations. You honestly do not have to in the slightest. Have a great rest of your weekend, as Mexico Rolls puts it. That's exactly the words I was just about to say. Have a great rest of your weekend. Up the Tigers! And we possibly could be seeing some additions coming before Preston take on the Tigers. But it's a Hull City side that are currently in 5th. Up the Tigers! Let's go!